and welcome to lesson 1 of week 10. Imagine running this analysis that we have learned so far from week 1 up to week 9, and we want to do that every month as we have new data. And we have to rerun every cell of data in the correct order, remember every threshold and every parameter, and recreate every file that we have created. And whenever we have one wrong click, the entire output changes. In this lesson, we are going to look at workflow automation, and we're going to see how we create an automation pipeline, why it is important. My name is Mildred. For this lesson, I have data. I want to use this data as an example where we automate workflow, and then we use this to test our workflow. At the end of this lesson, you understand why it is important to automate your workflow, why it is important for automation to be reproducible, and why it should be important to be transferable, auditable, and scalable. Now, we want to go over the process of what we do when we get data. So we have this data that has a number of records, 300 records, and we want to do certain things. We introduce missing values here for the study hours and the attendance. Now, whenever you have data you want to analyze, there are certain research questions that you might want to answer for your analysis. And for this data, we want to know if the study time affects exam scores. We want to know if students that have part-time job, does the job reduce their performance? Are there differences between the majors and the genders? Or is the attendance a strong predictor of success? So we have several steps that we have learned so far, where the first step is to load the data. We do some initial inspection, summary statistics, we look at distribution analysis, we visualize, we see the category variable analysis, we look at the correlation analysis, we use heat map, we do group analysis, we define events from the data, we calculate some marginal probability, joint and conditional probability. We also go further to do independence testing, binomial distribution, the central limit theorem, we formulate hypotheses, we do two sample dependent t-tests, we do the confidence intervals, we use chi-square test of independence, and then we write our report that summarizes the findings from the insight of analysis. Now we want to automate all of this process so that every time we have data changing, it goes through this pipeline and it does everything we want to do. So up until now, we have been writing the code cell by cell in different notebooks. We want to have a professional workflow that will wrap all of the steps into a function, and it will have a clear name, it will have clear inputs and clear return values. So let's start with the first step, which is to load the data to clean. So every pipeline will always begin with the cleaning step. So when we run this, first of all, we can see that we have the column student ID, age, gender, major, study hours, attendance, sleep hours, part-time job, exam score. So we have our data frame working, and then we will use this later. So let me clear. Now the first step is to write a data cleaning function. So write data cleaning function. We want to import pandas. We already have that, our NumPy. We have that imported. Now the function in Python, we use def. Let's call it clean data. And let's do a production ready one where we have the return types. So this is going to take a data frame. So let's say to take a data frame that is of type pd.dataframe, right? And then let's put a space, and then we want to say the return is going to be pd.dataframe, and we now want to clean the data. So anytime you have function like this in Python, you do the function name, you specify return type for the function, and then so for each of the arguments, what is the expected data type, and then the return type. And if you want to leave a comment, you can use this template type like this, and then you can write your comment or definition within that function. So let's say we want to leave a note. So you always want to leave notes here. So we say we want to clean the student data set, and the process we want to use is we want to remove duplicate rows. We want to missing study hours with the median. We also want to put the missing attendance. So here we said we're putting missing values in study hours and attendance. So we impute missing attendance with the mean, and then the exam scores. We have exam score. We want to clip this exam score to 0 to 100, right? So the exam score is, the maximum is 100. So say clip exam score to 0, 100, like that. Then we want to have the args will be the data frame. So you define it like this, and this will be the original input data frame. So let's say raw input data frame. Now this pipeline we're creating is going to work for this data set, and we will say it returns, and we'll say exactly what it will return, and so that your colleagues can look at this code, you don't need to explain anything. So it returns the cleaned data frame, and let's make sure it does not modify the original. All right, so once you have all of this, the next thing you want to do is to get a copy of the data frame. So let's say the df that is passed in now, we'll just say is equal to, we copy by using df.copy like this. We want to remove the exact duplicate rows. So before we do that, let's have a variable where we get the length of the data frame, and when we are done, we'll see the length, so we'll be sure that we are testing what we are doing. So we want to remove exact duplicate. So let's say remove exact duplicate. This is step 1 we're still doing, and so let's say we'll call this before, and we'll get the length of the data frame first, and then we want to just drop all the duplicates. So we'll say df is equal to df dot drop duplicate, right? And then let's use print statement here. So we'll say print. So let's say you're just writing a script that they always use to clean any data. So when you have more over the years, you want to clean another batch of data, you don't have to do all those writing different scripts from the beginning, but you just use this script to run, and you can reproduce the same thing. So let's say this is before minus the length of the df, right? So we have the before is equal to the length of the data frame, and you drop duplicate, you want to get before minus the length of what you have dropped now. Okay, so we'll say removed. So we want to say remove these duplicate rows, so it will give information of how many duplicate rows were removed, right? So the next thing we'll do when we remove duplicate is to impute missing study hours with the median. And we say we use median when the variable might be skewed. And if we recall what we did earlier, the study hours could have outliers, right? And we use mean when the variable is roughly symmetric. Let's say the attendance is like uniform, something like that. So we want to impute this, and we want to use the median because the median is robust to outliers, and we are suspecting that the study hours could have outliers, or from the knowledge we have prior. So now let's say missing study will now be equal to, so we want to get the study hour column, right? So we'll get study hour column, and we'll get the one that is null dot sum. Now we'll say df study hours is equal to df. So df study hours is equal to df study hours dot fill na df study hours dot median. I think it's written like this. So we are filling all of the missing value here with the median, and we can leave a print statement so we know when it is done. And let's just say imputed, let me put missing study. So imputed this missing study hours with a median, something like that. So the next thing we want to do now is to do that for attendance. And the attendance, we want to use the mean, and we're using the mean for attendance because it is roughly symmetric. So I'm going to just copy this. Let's just do that for the mean. All right, so now we call this, let's say, missing attendance, and so it will be df attendance. Let's see this study hours if I spelled it correctly. So it's uppercase, so here is uppercase s. Okay, so we have attendance, and we want this to be the mean, so did that with missing. So we place this with the mean, and then the next step we want to do is to validate the exam score range. So the exam score is an exam score, and so exam score is equal to df exam score dot clip. We want to clip it like the 0, 100, and then maybe we'll print something here. We'll say print cleaning final shape. Let's put a final shape for this. Let me use the format string, and we'll do df.shape to get the final shape. And here I think we can return df, return the clean data. So let's test this and see if it works. And to test it now, we'll say df clean is equal to, the function name is clean data, and we'll pass in our data frame df. So we'll have a data frame here called df, right? So if this thing is cleaned, we want to make sure that it's 0 when we have for any missing. So when we get the sum for missing values. So let's print out so that we'll be sure that it's clean. So we'll say df clean dot is null. So print df clean dot is null dot sum. Okay, so we want to make sure that this returns 0. So we'll be sure that it is clean. So when I run this, we have it passed through and we have 0 here. So the data is clean and the final shape is 300 rows, 9 columns, as it should be. So it is very critical that you copy the data, because you want to create a reference. You don't want to modify the original data. So you can never rerun the cleaning steps fresh, and any code that holds a reference to the original will still see the changed data between both. So every time you have your data, you always make a copy. So at the top of any function that you want to write that transforms your data, make sure that you always have copy. You have to make a reference to it. The next step is for us to have the pipeline runner and login, and we're going to see that in the next lesson.